So today we have Sam. Sam is a trained artist. He's a very talented artist and specializes in watercolor and especially the birds and animals. I think he does it so beautifully. So thank you, Sam, for accepting this invitation and agreeing really to come and demonstrate to us. So
Sure.
we all will enjoy this session.
Thanks a lot, Shiva, for that nice introduction. But I don't think I've worked that much of a build-up. But anyway, I'm assuming all of your students. I'm also a student just like you. I enjoy art. I might have started a bit earlier than you, so I may have learned a few tricks that you may still be. You may yet to catch up. Okay. Um, just like Shiva said, I got interested in art as a child. When I was in school, in the back bench, I would sit in the back bench and start drawing the what is going on in the class. It was just curiosity and interest in what I could do with pencil those days. Okay, I didn't have any formal training those days, but I kept working on it, and I felt I was really getting good at that. And I really the class I enjoyed the most during those days is my art class. And when I grew up, Bruce Lee was the big hero. So most of my sketches were of Bruce Lee those days. Okay, it was just out of curiosity I started working on it. Over a period, I started sketching my sisters, my cousins, and I would ask them to sit and I'll start sketching. I used to be really good at that. Then I totally forgot about that. Over time, I had to go to college, and life got very busy and very serious. So art was not part of my life for a long time. Okay, and then later, when my wife found out that I'm interested in art, she suggested that I pick it up again. She said, "Okay, this is something you enjoy doing. Why don't you start doing this?" It was around the time I was getting closer to retirement. So I did. I went for a course, and actually I started with a small workshop conducted by a company called Phoenix in Chennai. And from there, I went to a course for about 9 months with Life and Art. It's a Chennai-based company, art studio. Most important thing I found out in the studio is that they make you do things. More than any technique or anything, it's a matter of you putting pencil to the paper and taking the time to do things. Unless you start doing it, watching a lot of videos is not going to help. Don't take art too serious, okay? Then it gets to be a stressful thing to do, okay? You should never stress over what you're doing. Enjoy what you're doing. If it doesn't come out good the way you wanted it, that's fine. It's perfectly fine to have a. It may not be something you like. Most of the time when I complete a picture, I usually look at it and say, "Oh my God, I could have done better." But then when somebody else looks at it and says, "Oh, that's nice," then I think about it and say why I think differently. The reason is, most of the time when we do the painting or sketch, we know the mistakes we make. There are mistakes everybody makes. And I don't think there is any artist out there who could claim the perfect artist. There is something that is always missing there. Artists will know that. So when you look at the flaw that you have in your painting or your picture, you think, no, I could have done better. Yeah, okay, but don't worry about it. Just keep trying. Okay. Today for the demo, I know this is going to take a while. What I'm going to do is, I told Shiva that I was going to do a painting of a bird. Instead, I thought I'll do something a little bit more interesting. I'm going to share a screen. This is a photograph taken by a photographer called John. K.A. John Photography. And I became friends with him in, it's called Chennai Weekend Clickers. Okay, the group is called Chennai Weekend Clickers. If you go there, they have plenty of photographers who actually share their photos there. I saw this picture and I liked it. I asked permission from him long ago, asking him if I could paint this, I could use this picture to do a painting. And he readily agreed. He was happy to see the painting. So we are going to do the demo now of this painting. You take a look at it. What I will do is from time to time, I will share this photograph as well. First, we are going to do a pencil sketch of the photograph, line sketch. Then we are going to do watercolor painting. Okay. Before we start the work, let me share something with you. When you look at this photograph, few things that you have to observe. Okay. The most important thing is you have to know where the light is coming from. Okay. This photograph, if you look at it, the best way to understand where the light is coming from is to look at the shadow. Okay. You see the shadow of that old lady and the calf, and it is right below them. It's probably around noon this photograph was taken, around somewhere between noon, around that time. So the light is coming from above. Let's look at the lady's hand. And the part of the hand that is dark, you will see is the part, the under part of her arm is darker. Similarly, if you look at the leg that is raised, you will see that part which is darker. Okay, these are all stuff that we are going to do. Okay, and if you look at the calf, maybe it's not that obvious, but if you look at the under part of the calf, it's a little dark compared to the top part. Top part is much brighter, right? It's lit up. Got it? When you do a picture in a flat piece of paper, we somehow have to bring out a 3D effect. The way we are going to do that is using light. Okay, which part of the photograph is going to be darker, which is going to be highlighted. Those are all the things that we are going to work with. That adjustment is what is going to define the depth of the picture. Okay, and another thing that you have to keep in mind is when you look at the background. Okay, there's a lot of details in the background. Okay, we'll try to finish it, but we may end up ignoring that because we may not be able to cover everything in 1 hour. But I'll show you how that could be done. We're going to start now. Watercolor is a medium that you have to remember. When you have water on the paper, the tendency is to warp. The paper that I have taped out here is a 300 GSM paper. It's a thick paper. The brand name is Kansan. And I've taped it stiff. So I was trying to say, okay, the watercolor. So you're going to have some water on the paper. The tendency for the paper will be to warp. So you want to have you want to have it taped stiff. First, I'm going to do a sketch like I explained. A3 is always nice to work with because it's larger and you have much more space to provide a little bit more detail. When you go on a smaller paper, you can't put details on it. Even with the A3, I may not be able to get the facial features of the lady over there. Okay. First, you have to visualize where your subjects are going to be. Okay. If you think about it, if you look at the road starts from one end and goes down. Okay. I'm going to start with that first. Okay. I'm just going to do a small line over here, something like this. Now, if you go to an art class, they'll say don't go up back and forth. It's all fine, but whatever works for you, just do it. Okay. And then we are going to have the subject, this lady over here. Her head is somewhere slightly above halfway. She's over here, and your legs are over here. Okay. I will do the entire picture later. Something like this. And the calf is over here, towards the end of the screen. And the top of the calf is midway in the screen. Okay. I don't know how much of this you can see. Okay. So I have an outline ready now. Don't worry about it if you don't get exactly the same way the picture looks, the photograph looks. It's just not easy always to get the same scale, same way how things look in the photograph. Okay. Don't be afraid to start painting, right? one of the things that you have to keep in mind is we are going to paint its sections. With watercolor, there are areas where you have to let it dry and then rework on it. So first I'm going to give it some background colors here. You have to first work with the lightest colors, okay? Once you have a dark color in the painting, you can't paint something light over it with watercolor, okay? It's all one flat color first. Look at it, and all this wrinkles in the saree will all come out with darker colors later. I used cobalt blue over there. Now I'm going to work on the calf. I will yellow ochre. That's the color I'm going to use. I'm going to give it a light coat first. What we've done now so far is we gave a blue saree color for this old lady, and then we have the cow covered in yellow ochre. Then I'm going to work on this road here, just a little, I will try to mix black and blue and make it a little grayish color. Just be careful when you are getting near those colors you just worked on, because then it will bleed into the other one. Just give it a space and just work on it. That's great. have a very nice picture. You see that now? Now we have to start working on more details, right? Let's let it dry for a while. And I'm going to use, now, earlier you might have seen the colors were a little not so well blended. Now you will see it's a little blended better. So we are going to make the wrinkles in the saree, work on the wrinkles in the saree when it dries up a little more. In the meantime, I'm going to focus on the calf. This is a little dry now. There are darker areas in the calf, like for example, the nose, the eye, there are some dark spots, and then there is the forehead where you see a kind of a burnt sienna color, a brown color. I'm going to try working on that with the brown sienna. So you see a patch here, right? The way to get rid of the patch and make it blend with the other color is just take a little bit of water and work on the edges. Okay, we spoke about getting some this sarees, wrinkles in the saree, right? This is the time I've mixed a little bit of black and blue together, and I'm going to draw lines. We spoke of where the light is coming from, right? Earlier, that's coming from the top, we said. So we are covering that part. Okay, what have I got so far? So I will just show a little bit of shading here and there. So we'll finish with that. So this part will be darker, as you know. You see it? So it's just something to start with, right?
Yes.
So you asked me about the greens. I will show you a trick for the greens now. Remember, greens, there are multiple levels of green. You can use, I started with yellow earlier. And there is a reason for that. There is more yellow in the background here, as you can see. And I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow with blue. That is pale. It is not very strong green. So let's say something like this. So there is some green background, right? There is no depth in the background. There is something in the back to that green and make it darker. And I'm going to give it some depth. Let's say there are dark spots in the bush, right? It's just not always light bush. So I'm just going to add a little bit of dark spots. Usually the dark spots, as you know, are at the lower levels, not at the top, because there is less sun going down there. So you can see dark spots at the lower levels. One thing we forgot to do is the stick that Larry has. I can quickly finish that. So this is all you have to do. You don't have to spend too much time, too much effort on that. It's not a very unless you want to really get into the details of the tree and whatnot. But then that doesn't really mean that is not the subject. The subject is the old lady with the cough. So for the stick she carries, I'm just going to use yellow ochre. Okay, I'm going to stop here. See, there are some colors that you will see here, the darker shades here, you will not see in the photograph. I just gave it to kind of give it a depth. We know the belly is kind of, it's going to go around the circular, it's going to circular. The lowest part is going to be darker. As it moves up, the darkness will reduce. So I gave it, you may not see that in the picture directly, but I just added that to give the effect. And you'll see this leg also, I given it a darker patch just to kind of make it look, there is a, that leg is on the other side, right? I don't know if you can see all that in that painting.
It's nice, Sam. Especially the cow's face is very good. With
Like it, good.
Yeah, few strokes we are able to get that, and overall the proportion is something which is very nice. I mean, from the picture, how we are able to translate that proportion exactly on the paper is something which is very nice. I think that is something which all of the people who are present here should learn. How do we translate the proportion what we see in the picture onto the paper almost similar, and the posture of the lady and the calf walking, all those things are the most important thing. The finishing, obviously, I mean, it will take more time to get the exact real finishing. So my request to you, Sam, is maybe you can continue working on this and finish it and probably send it. We can post it along with the thing. So
I will do that.
Yeah, that they will get an idea of, this is halfway through, this is work in progress. That's what they should learn. And more importantly, the overall process of going about layer by layer and taking few areas and keep on improving the depth is something which is, I think, they should learn.
I've created a bush. It's not a grass. It's a bush that you're seeing in the background here. Okay, so you have to spend more time. And what I would do is, you take the lighter colors and spread them out first, and then you will take the darker colors and then keep adding darker colors. Let me see. Okay, let's say look at this part of the painting. There is a depth. What it means is there is some thicket above that that's covering this area as darker. So I will finish it up like that, and when I send it to you, you will see only a bush. You will not see a mountain. I really thought I should do a mountain area, but I will just keep it a bush. And I may add a tree over here, or maybe here, because this place is already taken a lot of colors. So I'll add a couple of trees, and I will send it all over to you, right? All right. If there is no other question, thanks a lot. Thanks, Shiva. I will finish it and send it over to you. Right.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for spending your time, and I am sure people who are present now would have got some inspiration. So thank you so much for sparing time, and thank you all for being there. We will post this once it is finished, and you can see the difference. This is just work in progress. Please remember that.